But the other story that's been building here, and I wanted to talk to you about this, because this past Monday, we got an update on the Wyatt Sicks. And they had for those who've seen it, and I believe you've seen it as well, with the VHS tape that they gave that was supposed to go to Pat McAfee. And they did an incredible segment with Bo Dallas talking to Uncle Howdy. And I wanted to talk to you about that and kind of get an idea of where you were on that.
You know what this reminded me of? Bo Dallas having a conversation with Uncle Howdy is a throwback to when Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Mankind, had his sit-down interview with Jim Ross.
Yes.
And, there was Mankind had been around, and they did this personality profile, and it ended with, he talked about his childhood, talked about how he was picked on as a kid, and, how he wasn't the most popular guy, and what led to him becoming this Mankind character and all this stuff. Except this time this is Bo talking to him, his alter ego, Howdy. And he's talking about how, he was the brother of one of the biggest stars in wrestling, and, he was meant to be with his brother, and he wanted to be a part of his brother's crew. And then, his brother passed away, and with Bray passing away and everything he went through with that. So in a way, this was him basically looking in the mirror and explaining the transformation and showing the person behind the Uncle Howdy character, as, the Mankind thing showed Mick Foley behind the Mankind character, showing the real life person behind the crazy supernatural character.
Yeah.
And it's leading up to where they'll eventually, once Uncle Howdy starts working, it'll just be people like, oh, that's Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt's brother going through this thing.
Right.
With this, split personality type thing. And I think it was really well done, just in a dark room, nothing between them interacting. And, Bo talked as Bo, but, Howdy had this, other aura and personality about him. And I think it was really well done.
I loved so many things about it. Like, banger after banger with this segment so far, with this whole setup, right? They didn't. What I prefer about this kind of stuff is that they're leaning into the reality aspect of it as opposed to the paranormal aspect, right? First question he asked him, how did you feel when your brother died?
Yeah,
I didn't expect. Holy shit! Where did that come from? And then, good.
Best part of wrestling is real of a storyline is bringing in real life elements into it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just thinking, because then the next part is like, don't you think you're exploiting your brother's legacy? Like, they're literally just fucking hammering on everything everybody has said about this storyline. Like, they're
and that's doubt creeping into his own mind, because who can't relate to doubt creeping into, am I good enough for this? Am I good enough for that? Can I do this? Am I good enough? Am I worthy?
Is it going to work? Is it actually going to be what we want it to be? Like, fucking A, man. Like, and the fact that it's so raw, like Bo is, and, I know the Solomonster talked about this on his program the other day, but if you watch the Bray Wyatt documentary, I think it's Becoming Immortal is the name of the show. Every time Bo is on the screen, he's emotional, talking about Bray. Like, he's just devastated by this loss. And then he builds that into this story. And now you have your thread, right? You have the story. And then at the end, I'm not sure how many people noticed this, because I don't recall if I heard Solomonster mention this, but like, when they pan out, they have both of them sitting, and the dark room is actually the funhouse. It's the Firefly Funhouse. You can see the sign on the door, and you can see the stuff around them. So I'm almost hopeful in a lot of ways that it's almost like, to me, I hope, and I really hope they're right. You can bookmark this, y'all, if you're watching this. But Meanie, I'm going to throw this at you. I'm almost hoping, and I really hope they do this, that they reboot the Firefly Funhouse with Bo Dallas as the guy who hosts the Funhouse, and the puppets are all there, and it's like, hey, you know, I'm the new host. It's almost like it's like a really fucked up version of Blue's Clues, like when Steve left and they brought the new host in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm thinking about, and it's like, God, that would be fucking incredible. Like that would be so good because now you have the actual physical representation and manifestation of the characters themselves, and you have this new thread where it's like that's his thread because you were always kind of trying to figure out what the thread was with Bray and the Fiend and the Funhouse, right? You know,
I have a feeling they were going. I have a feeling they were eventually going to get to that. But
yeah, I think all of that was going to really tie together because from a lot of some of the reports, I know Tom Colohue had talked about this frequently. That was like Joe Gacy's name had consistently come up. Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, like all the, Eric Rowan was supposed to be coming. Like all of these things were already kind of in play, but once he died, that was something that they put on hold. So I literally cannot get enough of this storyline, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here. But I know there's been a lot of chatter about it too. I mean, as far as from a storyline perspective, would you prefer to see them do something like this with the rest of those people as well to give them context and give them a part of the story to be like, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're here.
Yeah, especially with the Nikki Cross stuff. Like I said, they were kind of alluding, like we were all wondering why she was standing there catatonic and just staring off into the space while all this chaos was happening around her. That would be the one I would want to see next.
Yeah.
Her talking to herself.
Yeah.
You know, and with her, it could be, you know, talking about, you know, how she started in NXT and then she became a superhero and, you know, all these other things that led up to her, you know, coming under the spell of, you know, the Wyatt, so to speak.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's a great worker, great character.
Yeah.
You know, I want to see that. I want to see her talk, you know, almost do the same thing. But we shall see.